Welcome back. Each Friday here on the show, we're going to ask for your help to find a missing child. This week, we focus on 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughn from Fruitland, Idaho. Michael was last seen near his home on the night of July 27th around 6:30 p.m. Neighbors reported seeing him playing outside by himself. The Idaho State Police and the FBI are among the more than a dozen law enforcement agencies involved in this investigation. Authorities telling the public the case is still very active and open. And they want you, all of you, to know that no piece of information is too small to share. Michael's family has offered $26,000 as a reward for Michael's safe return. Joining me now is Angeline Hartman. She's the media director for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Angeline, thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. I understand that you have some new information today about this case.
Yeah, the first thing, Dan, is that reward has now been increased to $40,000. And investigators say they've tightened the window of what they're looking for when he disappeared. It's about 6:20 to 7 o'clock. 3 key pieces that they're looking for at this time, because, Dan, as you know, they've been looking at surveillance video, for weeks and weeks now. It's been more than 2 months since he disappeared. And so they've gone over this, and 3 things they released just today. 1, there is a white Honda Pilot. They believe it's the years either between 2016 to 2020. That Honda Pilot was seen in this area. And we're talking about a 4-block radius where this Honda Pilot was captured. And so they think that is significant to this investigation. Number 2, there was a possible jogger seen running in this area. He was wearing shorts and he was going down Southwest 8th Street. And number 3, there was somebody walking near what they call the splash pad, this fountain-like area where kids play. And this person is a male wearing a white T-shirt and black shorts. And so investigators are really honing in now on these 3 pieces of information, all gotten from the surveillance video from residences and businesses in that area. So this is a big turn in this investigation.
And one of the things about this case, as opposed to some other cases that you and I have talked about over the years, is that this happened recently. I mean, when you're talking about cases that happened a year, 2 years ago, it gets more difficult and more difficult. Here
Sure.
We're talking about something that just happened on July 27th.
Right. And so, I asked the police chief earlier today, what does your gut tell you? What are you thinking at this point? And he didn't want to classify this with any kind of label or title, but he just basically said, Dan, we are hopeful, but we are not where we need to be. And he really emphasized that there are still people out there with information. And he says during this investigation that they've discovered that people are coming forward with new versions or new stories or new things during this time frame. And he's thinking to himself, you didn't tell us this 2 months ago, and it just has evolved. And so he really wants the information to get out there, the message to get out there, that there are people that have to come forward. Even if nobody has contacted you from law enforcement, you should come forward if you were in that area that day or if you know something.
Right. And you've now given us 3 potential additional clues to focus on: the Honda Pilot, the jogger, and the man. All 3 possible additional things that people might have seen that they can then say, oh, I didn't see young Michael, but I did see, a jogger in the area that day, et cetera. Any of that's still critical, right?
Exactly. And as you know, Dan, really, police are putting together pieces of a puzzle, right? And they don't know where all these pieces fit, but they have to have the pieces to get it together. Yep. And so they really need the public's help. I talked to the mother of Michael today, and you may have heard this. She calls him Monkey. They call him MJ. And I said, tell me about him. And she said he had just turned 5 in June, and he is a rambunctious kid. He's full of energy. He loves to play outside, loves to be in dirt. And, she said this is just tearing their family apart. This was a summer day, and She had worked a long stretch, and this was her last day of work. And she promised him that morning that she was going to have a few days off and they were going to play together, for days and days. And she was going to give him full attention. And she left that morning and called at around 4 o'clock, and everything was fine. Everything was normal. She said she talked to him. He was playing some video games. And then she got the call from her husband at around 7 o'clock that Michael was missing. He had been home with the other kids, and everything just set into motion from there.
I think any of us with young children hear that, and it resonates in a really powerful way. Angeline, thank you so much for coming on the show. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Michael Vaughn, we have a link on our page, newsnation.com/Dan Abrams Live, to contact authorities, or call 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678.